Hey guys, thanks for joining me today. I wanted to make a quick video detailing the biggest issue facing one of my favorite games today, Overwatch. Overwatch is a 6 versus 6 objective-based game that I find to be quite enjoyable due to the in-game mechanics, the generally balanced play, and the intense level of competition in the ranked games. However, there is a glaring issue that I see which seems to be causing problems and even driving away players. Today, I am going to discuss the current issues with the skill rating system for competitive modes in Overwatch. Roll the intro. Skill rating, or SR, is what everybody who loads into the game and chooses to play competitively ultimately plays for. A skill rating is a number that is assigned to you based on how good or bad of a player you are. The skill rating is set from 0 to 5,000, and the higher your number, the better a player you are considered, and you will be matched in your games with players of a similar rating. There is only one metric that determines if you will increase in your SR after every game. Win! That's it. The only thing that matters is if you and your team win. Win and go up in SR, lose and you drop SR. This does make sense and was a good idea at first, but now is the root cause of just about everything toxic in the game. This metric was based on the idea that the team winning is the most important facet of the game, and it tries to encourage teamwork and coordination in order to overcome the enemy team's strategies. At conception, this was an excellent idea. However, we are now realizing a very important reality. People don't really work together very well. In Overwatch, there are a number of factors that contribute to team dysfunctionality and bad synergy. For example, there are some players who essentially only play one character no matter what. We call them one-tricks, like one-trick ponies, which is terrible because the game's characters are designed to counter one another in a balanced way. Having one player sticking to just one character who is consistently being countered by the enemy team is an easy way to lose. Another example is some people just don't communicate or don't use the in-game chat system. Or some people will just blatantly refuse to swap to other viable heroes, even though all they are doing is running into the team fight and immediately dying. We call these players feeders. Essentially, the result of the match and the SR rating boils down to which team has less dead weight and who can carry that weight farther. Ultimately, the current system punishes good performers who get sandbagged by bad teammates and rewards bad teammates who get carried to wins and a higher SR. Unfortunately, this also leads to players being incredibly toxic to teammates that they think are costing them the game, which also contributes to the negativity and is a big reason why many people aren't active in the team chat. The solution to this is simple. Stick to the system where either a win or a loss determines whether a player goes up or down in SR, but promote a new system that uses in-game performance metrics to determine the impact to the SR. To be clear, the game already has these in-game metrics, such as eliminations, damage dealt, healing done, and objective time, to name a few. The game already assigns gold medals to the players with the highest number for each category, as well as silver and bronze for second and third. A tank player who has dealt the most damage on the team by the end of the game should not receive as heavy a drop in SR as the actual damage dealer on their team who wasn't hitting any shots all game. Based off the match performance, the rating systems should be able to determine who on the team is to be blamed for the loss, or by contrast, who is to be rewarded for a dominant performance which led their team to the dub. Too often, there are healers who aren't healing, or sniper players who aren't killing anything and not being duly penalized for it. Or on the other side, there are players who end up being involved in 60 or 70% of their team's kills and not getting any credit for it. I believe by emphasizing in-game performance, good players who realize they will lose a certain game can then focus on their overall performance and getting their stats up in order to minimize the impact to their SR. Conversely, the underperforming teammates who refuse to switch or contribute anything of value will be faced with a decision. Realize that they are not putting up a good performance and must make the necessary adjustments in order to contribute and help the team win, or continue feeding and receive the brunt of the loss for their failure to adapt and counterpick. To conclude, the current SR rating system was built on a key principle, that the team win must come before everything else. The problem is many players don't see it that way and create far more problems for their team to have to overcome than any value that they may be able to produce. Holding these players accountable for their lack of foresight and inability to create value for their team will force them to make the necessary changes in order to better help their team succeed, or otherwise be dropped to a lower tier until they learn to be better team players. Doing this allows the good teammates to be rewarded for placing the team win and the team needs above their own, which is what the founding principle of this game ultimately wanted to produce. Selfless players who will make the right choice not for themselves, but for the betterment of the team. Those who refuse to accept this do not deserve to be in the same tier as those who do, and should be appropriately dealt with. Allow the wins and the losses to determine whose SR rises or falls, but the in-game performance metrics should determine the overall variation between the team's top performers and the team's feeders. That's my opinion. I'd love to know what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments if there could be any more improvements to the overall system itself, or if it's just fine the way it is. But that's it for me today. Let me know if there's any videos in the future you'd like me to cover. I do have more vids coming here soon. But hey, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'll catch you guys next time.